Hello my lovelies, and welcome to another post, and I wanted to show you my edging journal. So if you've been with me a while, you'll recall that we did a series, I think it was playing with edgings or having fun with edgings, I can't remember the exact title, and yeah, we really enjoyed it. We did all sorts of different things, and that journal was actually for myself. I kept that, but there were one or two of you that said, well, if you do another one, or if you know, some of them pieces we made together, if you put that together in another journal, I'd be interested. So there is somebody specifically who I'm going to offer it to first, because she did show the first interest, but if she no longer wants it, then it'll be going in my Etsy shop. So something a little bit different, excuse me, and yeah, you can journal in it, there's plenty of space, etc., but hopefully it's more of an ideas book to give you some ideas of all those lovely edgings that we did. Okay, so it is a flexible cover. It's made up of layers of hessian, or burlap I think you call it in the States, and it is roughly 6.5 by just under 10, and it is of the Midori style, and we've got all these lovely edgings which we'll be able to see more when we open it up, and just the plain hessian back with sewing round, and then one of my hoarded edgings. I just hoard these with the numbers on. I just love them, but I thought it went really well. So this actually says screen printed in the United Kingdom. It's called Bertram. The name of the fabric that was on this, can't remember what that was, but it's called Bertram. So I reckon we'll call this Bertram, because it's quite masculine as well in its feel. So this is Bertram. Okay, so that is what's tying it up. Now then, let me explain a bit about the front. It has again got a little strip of edging with the numbers on, and this underneath here is a topper. This is all handmade paper, so this is handmade. It's got leaf occlusions in there, it's got tea leaves in, all sorts. You can see there bit of Assam tea there, and bits of leaves, and then that has been sealed with the Mod Podge that's got a touch of glitter in, because I just thought it's quite, you know, obviously it's earthy, it's very organic, but I thought with the red sewing it would be nice just to have a little bit of sparkle in there. And also the elastic on it is it's like this sparkly pinkish, so it's like a juxtapose of the organic and the sparkly, and I liked that. Then on top of that we've got layers, so we've got some thicker hold burlap, then we have some dyed cheesecloth. On here is one of my handmade glue flowers, which I'll try and find the video. I'm going to do a Catherine Revisited soon, so some of these techniques I'm going to redo, because we made some lovely things with glue, and I couched it on with some metallic thread, one of Tracy's labels. Excuse me, I seem to have got this croaky voice that won't go away. Okay, so let's have a look at Bertram. So we've decided it's a he if it's called Bertram. He is the Midori style, so there's two signatures, and they both lie nice and flat. They both do lie lovely and flat, so that you can work in it. You may want to put some a writing board in, so you don't get knobbly writing. And I just love the look of all these layers. So they're all stepped down, as you can see. I love that. There's just something really fabulous about it. It's very grungy. It's got a mishmash of all sorts in it, and I don't know, something about it. I think it's because it's got all the different techniques we used on the edging journals. It's got loads of texture in it. It's a touchy-feely journal. and yeah, whoever gets it, hope you get some inspiration for your edgings. So at the front we've got a pocket here, and this is one of Mrs. Cogg's. I did do her patchwork course, make a patchwork journal with Mrs. Cogg, and yeah, I'll link that down below. I had fun. I haven't got the patchwork journal I made, I sold it. I might have to do another one. I had such fun doing that. And then there's a couple of tags here. This one is our own. So this is from one of David's backgrounds that he hasn't released yet. Nice big tag there. And then this is one of Rachel's at Roxy Creations in there. So we've got an assortment of papers. I've tried to use everything recycled in this. That's what's given it its grungy feel. But most of all, I love its layers. So plenty of tabs on here. Plenty of spaces to tuck things. First style of edging there. When we did the edgings, the strips to go on the edge with butterflies from Tracy Fox. Our own avocado dyed paper. Loads of, this is just some, what do they call it, you know, when you've been stamping and doing and your background paper gets grungy and you can use it. I forgot what we call that, but yeah, it's one of them. It's got some lovely pieces of upholstery scraps in here. That's we did the different stamping on our different edgings on the different tabs, so we did do that. And some paper from Rachel's backgrounds. Lots of little pockets and things to tuck in. Plenty of sewing on the machine as well. This is a real vintage piece. It's from the old soldiers book that they used to give soldiers in battle. It's a bit of a scripture type book to give them comfort, supposedly to give them comfort. It was a bit heavy going, some of it. And this is a noble Roman. I dare say some of you have heard the story about a young Roman that had been condemned to death. He had been guilty of treason. Stamped edgings there. So you can see a right selection that you would never think of putting together, but I think it works beautifully, just because it's different. That's some old index paper out of an old UK map. Here we've got some mixed fabrics. So you'll see when you get it, whoever gets it, the textile, the texture and textile nature of this. Some more straw paper, that just fits in that little button there. And then we've got a little pocket there. It's got a couple of our cards there, Davy's Beautiful Birds. Just close that, it's got a button sewn on there. And then you can flip that up, and that's, I didn't realise that was on there. That says Davs, so that's what my boy's called, David. So it's a cross between David and Dad, because obviously he's their stepdad, they call him Davs. It's a real term of endearment, so yeah. And then the back of that, you've got a lift up flap there with some sewing on it. Amazon packaging, straw paper. So as you move through, I've tried to make it that it looks pretty, left and right. You know, as you turn things, you've got something that layers up nicely. Here we did some different stamped edges. This is a piece of vintage from the Connoisseur, early 1900s. Oh, music paper. This is a collage with some vintage registrar paper. Lovely little edging there with some fringe, handmade paper there. Here we've got a little envelope, so we'll just untuck that there, and it's supposed to be opening, I'm sure. No, it's not supposed to be opening, it's supposed to be an envelope, so I'll put a little bit of glue down there. I will fix that, and then you can put something. Have I put anything inside it? No, I think it's just come unstuck. So that goes in there. Now that actually, it's from a Sizzix die, that. I thought the paper was so pretty. This is an old map of the UK, and it's actually got Robin Hood's Bay on there, and this is all the North Yorkshire moors and Yorkshire coast there. Excuse me. Again, some vintage registrar paper. Plenty of packaging for you to do all sorts. Mixed media are right on it. Again, old registrar, original paper. This is some original, tell because it's thick and it's rag paper. And I'm not sure if this is from some sort of a Bible or scripture book. Again, fancy edgings. And here, now this page is from the old Financial Times in the UK. Now, the Financial Times was very iconic in as much that it was this pinky salmon colour. None of the other newspapers here were that colour. You knew that was the Financial Times. Now they have just turned into an online newspaper now, so it's very collectible. Is the the proper papers. Got a little bit left in my stash that I keep eking out. Again, original ledger paper here with lovely dates and handwriting on it. Just got a collage mix in there. Different thicknesses as well, different thicknesses of packaging, old packaging. Try to put some interest on every page. So it's not just about the edgings. I tried to do some collage interest so that if you do write on here, felt pen, that sort of thing would be very good for writing. Well sewn down the middle. So that it's threaded through the elastic for for the Midori style, but they are sewn on the machine to give extra thickness. Again, all lovely hoarded piece of fabric that I love, old vintage fabric. So this is the middle, so all you've got to do is slip that out and you can put whatever you want in it, make your own edging. Again, this is all vintage, old adverts from the Connoisseur and old registrar paper. And again there with some lovely fabric on. This is the edging from an old map book, old UK, old English I think we called it. This is the back of the Financial Times. I can't see the date, I think I've covered that up. Oh, it's January 2009. So it's not old, but it is iconic and it is collectible now, becoming collectible, because as I say, it's gone online. One of the edgings we did all rubbed with wax crayons with a bit of a fringe. Again, some of the old map book, the back of the rag paper. This is some handmade paper, as this tab really thick with some fabric. This is another piece of the old map. I'm trying to see what's on it. I think this is still the Yorkshire moors. I think so, yeah. Another fringy bit from my stash. It just creates a lovely look, doesn't it? Even now as the left-hand side's building up. Some vintage music paper. Again, connoisseur. So there's lots of vintage pieces in this. Vintage adverts. This is some old wallpaper. This is, you know, the mop-up page when you're doing jelly rolling and things on some straw paper. Another colour of brown, avocado paper. This is the index again of that map book. That's the back of some of Rachel's painted trims. This is the other bit, the last 3 pages of an officer's diary. A fine morning, luckily, as it promises to be a busy day. Straight line to Christ, that one says. So I said it's from the scripture book, old scripture book. Late 1800s, I think. I love these. I love it when they've got bits of holes and scrappy bits on the edge. And you can see the yellow through it. This, again, is an edging I made. I was sent that in Happy Mail and just added it to some pink straw paper. And there we have that first signature. Now some of these we did do on camera. I'm sure we did some of these. We did do, I had them all together in a book, some of them. So here we are. We have got the beginning of this signature, and this is just again an edging fabric collage with some vintage book paper from an old children's book of mine. This is when I printed and scrunched parcel paper, craft paper. Make edging, so you don't just have to use your packaging, recycle it as pages. You can make some edges with it and then snip some patterns in. Old samples of wallpaper. Here I had a go at doing the tab method of binding. Use some of the fabric that I painted. Here you've got a really old piece of cash register, and again we've got the tab fastening, and then these we just had to play with the corners, folding corners down and giving it a different look. My favourite birds. If you've been here a while, you know these are my favourite birds from one of Rachel's kits. They have to go everywhere, I just love them. And again, some gorgeous tea-dyed paper. Look at this, is the first pour when David does the tea dyeing. Look at it, how grungy it is. Some stamping on some old book page from when I was a girl. Again, some of the crayon rubbings we did. That's some vintage paper out of an embroidery book. Then I had a different go with cutting out bits of edgings as an effect, and just some crude sewing, hand sewing, but all looks effective together, I think. This is some old wallpaper, sewn and stamped edging. Now then, this is where it gets really textile. This is, I made some, I did a couple of videos using all your old scraps of thread and then laying chiffon on the top, and these were some scraps that I had left over, and I decided to cut them up as edgings, and I love it. I mean, that's another one of the revisited videos I need to do. That is just stunning, and it's all using recycled threads. This one. This is one of David's cards. This is the middle of this signature. some music background pages from David that he's had a go with digitals. Again, these are Tracy large entomology labels. Again, different edgings and another big piece of that. You know, you're never going to get a journal with these pieces in exactly the same. It really is unique, this one. Again, piece there on the back. This is some decoupage napkin. I sounded like I was singing then. Decoupage napkin. Oh yeah. Different sewn edgings. The back of that wallpaper. Washi tape down there that I thought went nice. Look at that purple. The purples and greys go lovely with that. Couldn't have picked it better myself. One of David's background papers. Here we have again back of the embroidery, vintage embroidered kaleidoscope patchwork, it says on there. This is another one of the edgings that we did with Tracy's butterflies, and behind this is some decorative sewn bubble wrap. Bit of stamping there. Little bit of Edith Holden here, lovely bird. And does this come up now? It's a belly band. Yeah, belly band. Here we've got a pocket. That's one of Rachel's, featuring two beautiful birds from David's Beautiful Bird digital kit. Lovely edging with some fine linen thread through it. Bit of a collage. Bit of a collage here. And then this is an old piece of ephemera, and I've put some pressed flowers from our old garden. So again, lovely addition to have. Here we've got threaded through with this lovely fringing on there. This is actually it's either Jen Bishop's, so from her collection, or it is that's it, Victoria Designs. Thank you, David, you reminded me. Can't remember which of the two that is. It's stunning, isn't it? Here again, this is some edging that I made. It's from some snippet roll that we cut off, and it's got bits of lace on. Bits of stamping that go over onto that side. And then this is where we made some collage with old geographic paper. The same on there and there. Especially wanted to leave the white edgings on this. I just like the effect. And then another patchwork pocket from Mrs. Todd. And look at how grungy that is. Some scrapbooking card that I have in my stash. So there we go. Hope you'll enjoy that. So I'm going to get in touch with the lady that was interested when I did another Edgings journal, and as I say, she's changed her mind. That will be going in my Etsy shop, and we're going to call it Bertram because that's what's on there. That's what's on here. And yeah, it's very unique. There's lots of different techniques in there, lots of different things that really are my own idea, and lots of vintage papers in there as well. There's some hand-dyed avocado. So there we go. That is the flip through of Bertram, and I will see you next video. Take care. Bye for now.